Hey all, welcome back to the Fire and Water Cooking Channel. I am Darren, of course, and today another in the series of my upstate New York cooking, culinary experiences growing up. We're going to do some chicken Spiedies. We're going to do some with the Cornell sauce as well. We're going to use some of my favorite regional baked beans, Grandma Brown's, Zweigles, hot dogs, red and white hots, and we're going to do some Syracuse salt potatoes. Big feast for 4th of July. It's the 3rd of July right now, but we're going to get this started, finish it up tomorrow. I'll be right back.
Smoking, grilling, getting hot and hotter, sous vide and chilling from fire and water.
Alright guys, if you've watched any of my other recent videos, you probably looked at the garbage plate, which is an upstate New York, Rochester, especially staple there. My last video I did was the Cornell chicken, which is a staple up there during the summer times of all this at the state fair, any kind of regional festivals, firehouse fundraisers, and all kind of stuff like that. So today I'm going to kind of do a big conglomeration, and this is going to be for 4th of July. Today's the 3rd of July, but we're going to do some chicken Spiedies, which are from around the Binghamton area, but they're also served a lot at the state fair, and pretty much you can find them a lot in upstate New York, pretty much anywhere. And all they really are is a chicken kebab, and just marinated a certain way. And this is a chicken Spiedie sauce, and I kind of relate it to something similar to an Italian dressing. Because this is actually made by Italian immigrants and marinate it for a long time and then cook it on pretty much a kebab. So you just put it on a skewer, cook it directly over charcoal, and put it on a slice or a piece of Italian bread, and that was it. That's a chicken Spiedie. Very easy. So we're going to do that, but we got to actually marinate them for 24 hours because that's what they do. Because like I said, it's mostly they used it on tougher meats and stuff like that, and they want it to where the meat kind of melts in your mouth when you're eating it. So we're going to marinate it for 24 hours. I'm also going to do some of those Spiedies, but what I'm going to use is the Cornell chicken sauce I got from the same company here that makes this up from upstate New York. I had this shipped down to me from upstate. So this is their pre-made Cornell sauce. So I'm going to do some with the Spiedie sauce, some with the Cornell sauce, just to see if there's a difference. Grandma Brown's baked beans is from Mexico, New York, up around where I grew up. And these are a little bit different than most baked beans you're familiar with, like Bush's and stuff. They're not very liquidy. So these are more like refried beans, and they're a little bit sweeter, I guess, and there's not as much stuff in them. So we're going to make some Grandma Brown baked beans. We're going to cook some red and white hot Zweigles. And then we're going to make Syracuse salt potatoes. So that's what we're going to do for tomorrow. But I'm going to get these chickens marinating. So I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. And I'll be right back. All right, guys. I thought I'd do a little close-up here for you. Because all I'm going to be doing right now is I'm going to be cutting up my chicken into, probably about 1.5 to 2 inch cubes. Because what we're going to be doing is putting them on skewers after I take them out of the marinade and getting ready to grill. So what I'm going to do now is just pretty much cut these up into about 2 inch cubes. And I got a mixture here. I've got some breast meat and I got some thigh meat. And I think I'll do the Spiedies with the breast meat, and I'll do the Cornell chicken kebabs or Spiedies with the Cornell chicken marinade with the thighs. So that's what we're going to do. Toss them in my vacuum sealer bag here, and we're going to vacuum seal them with the Spiedie marinade in there and with the Cornell chicken marinade. We're going to let it sit for 24 hours, and then we're going to take them out and finish them up. So that's it for these. I'll be back when we're going to cook our baked beans and our salt potatoes and throw these on the grill. I'll be back. All right, guys, so another part of this upstate New York feast is going to be the Grandma Brown's baked beans, and this is a real simple recipe. The main ingredient here is Grandma Brown's baked beans, and like I told you, these are made in upstate New York. I think it's Mexico, New York, but I grew up on these. These are the baked beans I grew up on, and one of the things you're going to see that's just a little bit different than Bush's baked beans or any other kind of baked bean you'll find at the store is their consistency is more like a refried bean. It's not really very watery or in a syrupy type sauce like Bush's beans are. So you can actually take this can and pretty much turn it upside down. It's more like refried beans that haven't been smushed all the way, and so they're a little bit different consistency. There's no like chunks of pork or hickory or different flavors or anything like that like you find with Bush's baked beans now. It's pretty much, you know, just a plain old smushy type bean. And what I'm going to do with these pretty much is just put them out on the in the pan here. We're going to lay them out. This is the way my mom always made them. Pretty much just put them in a cake pan like this, or casserole dish, I should say. And just pretty much just take them out, spoon them out. Probably fast forward through this part. All right, so I got my 3 cans. Now, like I said, these beans, you can only find them in the regional area, upstate New York. I got these online through Syracuse Crates, which is a company that specializes shipping out regional Syracuse area products. Same place I got the Spiedies sauce and stuff. And actually, these are, right now, you can only buy 1 can at a time because they're on back order, or they're limited because they don't have a lot of them. So I guess they're having a high demand. So they're very regional baked beans. So what you do is you just kind of spread them out. And I do this with normal baked beans too. Like if I had Bush's, I'd do the same thing. I just kind of spread them out into a layer. But like I said, these are just, they're not syrupy at all. Very more like a refried bean type. And I take a little bit, you can take just plain brown sugar, but I'm going to use a barbecue rub. I'm going to use Cosmo Q's Honey Killer Bee sweet rub. It's got a couple different seasonings to it, but it's going to mostly add some sweetness. So I'll put a little bit on the beans itself, and then I'm going to put some bacon. I just cut some strips of bacon into smaller strips. So when these cook up, the bacon fat and the bacon is going to shrink up and mix in with the beans. You just want to cover the top. You don't want to put layers of bacon on there. So just enough to where you got enough pieces of bacon where everybody's going to be able to get a piece of it. I think I put about maybe a quarter of a pound of bacon. And then I'm going to take just a little bit more of that rub, put it on top, right on top of the bacon. Not a ton, just enough to kind of dust it, give it some flavor. And that's it. I'm going to put these in the refrigerator for tomorrow, and we're going to stick them in when we're getting ready to put our Spiedies on. We're going to cook this probably a good 45 minutes or so. And you can cook this on your smoker, or you can cook it in the oven, about 350 or so. And then we're going to cook it till the bacon gets all nice and crispy, because the beans are already done. All right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow when I'm going to put all this stuff together. All right, guys, happy 4th of July. I just got home from church, getting my beans already in the oven. We're just going to cook them in a regular oven. I got my PK grill heating up for the Spiedies. I'm going to cook the Zweigles hot dogs, or hots. on the Camp Chef flat top. We're going to heat the buns up and toast the buns on that, and cook the hot dogs or the hots on there. I got my pot for the salt potatoes, and in Syracuse, these come, you can buy a bag. It's just called salt potatoes, and all they really are, you can make these with any kind of small potatoes. They're new potatoes, you know, so you can get little red potatoes, little yellow potatoes, Yukon Golds. They're usually just smaller little potatoes like this. When you buy the salt potatoes, though, it does come with a big pack of a lot of salt. So all you really do is you fill it full of water, cover all your potatoes, take your bag of salt, just pretty much open it and dump it in. I know it seems like a lot of salt, but there's a reason they use a lot of salt. It's just the way these cook in the salt. It's more of a brine. It turns them creamy and really special. The salt penetrates deep into the potatoes, and they turn out really well. But to finish these, we're going to put a little bit of butter and a little bit of herbs and garlic in there and mix it up, and it's going to turn out really, really good. So I'm going to go ahead and put these on the stove inside and just boil them up. That's pretty much all you do. As soon as everything else gets up to temp, we're going to throw the stuff on the grill and finish it up. I'll be back. All right, guys, I'm going to point out the different hots here. So we got red hots and we got white hots. These are both from the company called Zweigles. The white hots are not cured, and they're made with mostly pork, beef and veal, mostly pork on it, more of a bratwurst. The red hots are more like a typical hot dog where they're cured, but they both have different flavors, but they're one of the best hot dogs I've ever had. All right, I got my Spiedies ready here. The ones here on the left are the Cornell chicken ones, and then the ones here on the right are my regular Spiedie sauce, and I kind of separated them here. Had them sitting overnight in the vacuum bags, and I just took them all, put them on this tray so we can cook them up. We're going to get them going. All right, guys, got my PK all fired up and ready to go, and you see we're cooking directly over charcoal, and it's pretty close to the fire, and this is how they are cooked traditionally, right over charcoal. All right, guys, when my Spiedies are about halfway done, I'll go ahead and throw the hots on the grill. We're going to use a flat top here. All right, guys, so these are almost done. You see how they're popping open, got a nice char to them. I'm going to use the rest of the grill to toast up my buns for the Spiedies. All right, guys, they're starting to get nice and charred up here. That's what you're looking for. You want them to get nice and charred up from the charcoal and the heat there. That's what you're wanting to do. And you can either serve these, pull them off the skewers with the bread, or you can just put them all in a big pan or plate and just use tongs to put them in your bread. But these are just about done, so we're going to go check on the hots. The hots are done. I got those rolls are for the chicken Spiedies, and the hots are done, ready to go as well. So, all right, I got my salt potatoes just about ready, and the beans. So we're just about ready to throw this all together. I'll be back. Here it is, Upstate New York feast. Grandma Brown's baked beans, salt potatoes with a little garlic and butter and herbs. Red Texas red hots from Zweigles, white hots from Zweigles. I've got a Spiedie here with thigh meat and with Cornell barbecue chicken sauce. The regular Spiedie with regular Spiedie marinade and the chicken breast. These buns were wiped down with the marinade and toasted. I got hot dog sauce from Zweigles, which is kind of a mixture of onions and ketchup and relish and a couple other things. This is ketchup, or actually mustard relish is what they call it, which is just kind of spicy mustard mixed with relish. It's a staple up there. And like I said, if you wanted to finish off these Spiedies, it's not traditional, but you can use a little bit of white Alabama barbecue sauce if you want. Also, Golden's mustard also works great on these. So check it out, guys. Upstate New York. I'm going to have one of these potatoes just so you can kind of see. I'll take a bite. Nice and creamy, salty, garlic. So brings back memories there for sure. White hots, red hots, Spiedies, Grandma Brown's baked beans. I'm going to go eat up. Thanks for watching. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram. Make sure you follow us on the Fire and Water Cooking Podcast. And I will see you again on the next Fire and Water Cooking video.